Yo! Sometimes the NBA ain't just about buckets, it's about beef, breakdowns, and blow-ups. You ever seen a dude lose his whole mind on live TV? From meltdowns to madness, these NBA stars went from hooping to crashing out. Let's get into it. Bruh, you already know we gotta start with the Malice in the Palace, the wildest NBA meltdown ever. We talking about Ron Artest, man. Ron Artest. This brother didn't just lose his temper, he lost his zip code, went full WWE in the crowd. Listen, I'm talking about a full-blown riot. Players swinging, fans throwing punches, and Artest was the conductor of this crazy train. He charged into the stands like a runaway freight train, and let me tell you something, it was mayhem. Pure and utter mayhem. I've seen a lot of things on the court, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the Malice in the Palace. It was a dark day for the NBA, a stain on the game. And it all started with Ron Artest, a man possessed. You can't talk about NBA meltdowns without mentioning this one. It's the gold standard, the Mount Everest of losing your cool. And let me tell you something, it'll never be forgotten. Never. The NBA had to make an example out of somebody, and Artest, he was the fall guy, suspended for the rest of the season. Can you believe that? But hey, you gotta keep it real. He earned it. So, you young bloods out there, learn from Ron Artest. Keep your cool, because when you lose it like that, it ain't pretty, it's downright ugly. And trust me, nobody wants to be remembered for that. And then we got Rasheed Wallace, aka the ref's worst nightmare. Bro got 34 technicals in one season. My man woke up choosing violence every game. Listen, Rasheed was a different breed, man. He'd argue with a brick wall if it looked at him sideways. Refs? They were just his personal punching bags, metaphorically speaking, of course. You could see it in his eyes, man, that fire, that intensity. He was always on edge, ready to explode. And when he did, forget about it. Technical fouls raining down like confetti. But here's the thing about Sheed, he backed it up. Dude was a beast on the court. All-star, champion, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, he might have lost his cool, but he was also a winner. And let's be real, the refs didn't always give him a fair shake. Sometimes they just wanted to be the center of attention. And Sheed, he wasn't gonna let them get away with it. But hey, that's what made him great, right? That passion, that fire, it's what made him one of the most entertaining players to watch. You never knew what you were gonna get, but you knew it was gonna be good. So the next time you see a player get tit up, think of Rasheed Wallace, the OG, the legend. He paved the way for all the hotheads in the league today. Bro. Even Steph Curry, Mr. Good Vibes, snapped. My guy threw his mouthguard at a ref like he was trying out for the MLB. Now I know what you're thinking. Steph, Mr. Nice Guy, no way. But let me tell you something, even the most even-keeled dudes have their limits. And that night, Steph reached his. It was like watching a Disney movie take a dark turn. One minute he's smiling, draining threes from the parking lot. The next minute he's tossing his mouthguard into the stands, getting ejected and storming off the court. Look, I get it, the pressure was on. Championship on the line. Refs weren't giving him any calls, it all built up and finally, boom! Steph Curry lost it. And you know what? I kinda respected it. Sometimes you gotta let the world know you're human, that you got feelings too, and that you ain't afraid to show them, even if it means getting tossed from the game. But hey, that's Steph for you, always bouncing back. He took his medicine, learned from it, and came back stronger than ever. That's why he's one of the best to ever do it. So, the next time you see Steph Curry smiling on the court, just remember, even Mr. Nice Guy has a breaking point, don't push him too far. LeBron, King James? Oh, he don't lose his cool often, but when he does, everybody feels it. Refs, teammates, courtside fans. Dude be staring into the abyss like he contemplating retirement. Listen, LeBron is usually Mr. Composed, cool, calm, and collected. But when that switch flips, man, it's like a hurricane hit the court. I'm talking about those moments when the refs make a call so bad, so egregious that even LeBron can't stay silent. He starts pacing the court, throwing his hands up in the air and giving those refs an earful. And the best part? He does it all with this look on his face like he's genuinely disappointed in you. Like you just let him down on a personal level. It's almost scarier than him yelling. But here's the thing about LeBron. He knows how to use his emotions to his advantage. He'll use that anger, that frustration, to fuel his game. Next thing you know, he's dropping 40 points and leading his team to victory. So yeah, LeBron might have his moments, but hey, that's what makes him great. He's passionate, he cares, and he's not afraid to show it. And that's why he's one of the greatest to ever lace him up. And then there's Russell Westbrook. Bro be barking at fans like they talking about his mama. He stays in a war with the crowd. Every bucket feel like a personal attack. Let me tell you something, Russell Westbrook is a different breed. This brother thrives on chaos. He feeds off the energy of the crowd even when they're against him. You got fans talking trash, Westbrook's gonna talk it right back, and then some. He'll stare them down, yell at them, even get in their faces. And you know what? I love it. See, some players shy away from confrontation, not Westbrook. He embraces it. He uses it as motivation. And when he's locked in like that, watch out. Now, some people might call it disrespectful. They might say he's too emotional, too volatile. But me, I call it entertainment. Westbrook brings a level of intensity and passion to the game that's unmatched. He's a true competitor, a warrior on the court. And if you're gonna come at him, you better be ready for a fight. Because Westbrook, he ain't backing down from nobody. Like, Tim Duncan, one of the chillest dudes ever, got ejected for laughing. Bruh, imagine getting kicked out the club just for smiling at the bouncer. Now we all know Tim Duncan, right? The big fundamental, Mr. Stone Cold. The guy was about as emotional as a brick wall, but even he had his limits. Picture this, Spurs are playing, game's on the line, and Duncan gets whistled for a foul. Now anybody who's ever watched basketball knows Timmy D doesn't agree with a lot of calls. So, he's standing there looking at the ref with this bewildered expression on his face. And then it happens. A slight chuckle escapes his lips. That's it, a chuckle. Next thing you know, the ref slaps him with a technical. Then another one. Just like that, Tim Duncan, the calmest dude in the NBA, gets ejected for laughing. I mean, come on, man. The guy barely even smiled. It was like the ref was just waiting for an excuse to toss him out. Talk about an overreaction. But hey, it just goes to show you, even the most even-keeled players have their breaking points, and sometimes all it takes is a little chuckle to set them off. 8. So who had the wildest NBA meltdown? Was it Artest in the crowd, Steph launching his mouthguard, or LeBron going full Shakespeare on the court? Comment below, who crashed out the hardest? Subscribe for more NBA drama.